Campaign. Clan Steel Viper. Even after trimming enough divisions from his units to form a temporary 13th Army, Presenter Marshal Vogt still could not muster enough forces to oppose each of the invading clans with 2 full armies. Knowing that his Comguards would have to engage one of the clans without the benefit of superior numbers, Vogt chose the 6th Army to stand against Clan Steel Viper with only 2 divisions of reinforcements. To reach its objectives, Clan Steel Viper had to get through Devil's Bath. Stretching for dozens of kilometers between the Viper's drop zone and their primary objective, the Kozice Ranch Station, the bath is perhaps best described by a particularly vivid Comstar status report, saying it was a horrific combination of geysers, boiling mud, and narrow confines between massive granite columns. Needless to say, such an area lends itself well to ambush and close-quarters combat. The Vipers made a conservative drop well away from their target cities. The Viper Khans began their objective with a massive attack on their primary objective of Kozice Ranch Station, and sent the Omnimex of Alpha and Gamma Galaxies marching toward the city. The Comguards maintained steady aerospace and artillery barrages as the clan warriors advanced, but they saved their ground attack until the Vipers arrived at the fringes of Devil's Bath. There the clan galaxies met the green troops of the 6th Division, known as the Alert Words. After an initial exchange of fire, the 6th appeared to break, their white mechs fleeing into the bath with Steel Viper mech warriors in hot pursuit. Within minutes, Senior Khan Natalie Breen realized that her forces had stumbled into a massive trap. Entire stars disappeared in the bottomless pools of boiling mud, while the twisting paths of granite pillars and islands deprived the clan troops of their weapons range advantage. The Vipers could either continue their push into Devil's Bath, or retreat and make the long march around the bath to their target cities. Sensing the Khan's reluctance to pursue his troops into the treacherous terrain of the bath, Presenter Yekel of the 6th Division goaded the Vipers into continuing their attack by issuing an insulting public challenge throughout Tukayyid's solar system via a satellite link from his atlas. The enraged Steel Vipers had to attack. Alpha and Gamma Galaxies drove the 6th and 78th Divisions through Devil's Bath, inflicting heavy losses on the Comguards, but using their limited ammunition at a tremendous rate. While these galaxies slugged it out in the bath, the elite mech warriors of Presenter Brengillere's 1st Division hit the Viper supply lines. As the battle in Devil's Bath dragged on, the Vipers began to run low on ammunition. The Khans realized that they must disengage at once, or face defeat from a lack of supply. The swift-moving Omnis of Gamma Galaxy's 57th Striker Cluster finally managed to flank the 6th Division, cutting them off from their comrades in the 78th. With the hated warriors of the 6th now pinned down, Alpha Galaxy threw everything they had at the Comguards. When the smoke cleared, less than a company of 6th Division mechs still stood. Clan Steel Viper had avenged Yekel's insults, but at a high cost. Alpha Galaxy had suffered losses greater than 20% in the Battle of Devil's Bath, and their remaining mechs had no ammo left. Holding off the 78th's attempts to relieve the beleaguered 6th, Gamma Galaxy had fared likewise. It fell to the mech warriors of Zeta Galaxy to escort their virtually unarmed companions out of Devil's Bath. When the reserve galaxy moved out in full force, the 6th Army's overall commander, Presenter Trujillo, had only the 1st Division near enough to oppose them. Unwilling to uselessly sacrifice his best troops, Trujillo ordered the 1st's commander to pull back his mechs, and allow the reserves to join their frontline comrades unopposed. The shattered 78th Division could muster only a token attempt to divert the Viper forces, which Alpha Galaxy, though weakened, crushed the remnants of in a rearguard action. When the Steel Viper Galaxies finally reached the far side of the bath, they met the untouched 321st and 401st Divisions. The Comguards' assault broke through Gamma Galaxy's line, but couldn't force the clan warriors to retreat. The Presenter Marshal then ordered the 1st Division to discontinue its attacks on the Viper supply lines and pulled the 386th Division from garrison duty at Kozice Ranch Station. This redeployment then gave the Comguards enough strength to drive Clan Steel Viper from the field. Knowing that Steel Viper could only threaten either of their target cities once they had resupplied at their drop zone, Presenter Marshal Vogt ordered the bulk of his remaining forces into the city of Kelly Springs and Kozice Ranch Station. Khan Breen realized that, With several of the other clans already defeated at this point, the Precentor Marshal could easily shift great numbers of troops from another front to face the Vipers. Wisely, she ordered her warriors to board their dropships and lift from the planet. The Vipers' humiliating defeat led Khan Breen to resign her position and has made the clan an extremely dangerous enemy. When the clan invasion resumes, the Steel Vipers will most likely be at the forefront of the fighting. Devil's Bath. Descent into Hell. As the last of the gleaming white Comstar mechs disappeared into the forest of twisted rock formations, Star Captain Ilusha Kearney heaved a sigh of regret. She had hoped that the Comguards would at least put up a decent fight. Still, hunting them down through the eerie badlands ahead should provide some sport. She keyed open her comm-line and barked an order. First Viper Guards, form up! As always, the mechs of her unit assumed their defensive positions with perfect precision. Star Commander Delavan's assault trinary moved out front, while Rose's and Ahab's supernova binaries spread out to cover their flanks, and Leslie's heavy binary fell back to serve as a rear guard. The Omnimechs of her command Nova clustered around her immediately, their elemental passengers securely in place. Smiling with pride, Kearney issued her second order. First Viper Guards, move out. As the 50 Omnimechs of her command surged into the openings in the stone cliffs ahead, Star Captain Kearney gave voice to an exuberant yell. Her unit had won the right to lead the Viper assault. If the Comguards kept fighting as they had so far, the first Viper Guards could carry the fight all the way to Kozitze. After several uneventful minutes, Delavan's pleasant baritone filled Kearney's ears. Star Captain, I have Comguard mechs in sight. 2 Sentinels, a Champion, 2 Black Knights, and a Flashman. They're yours, Star Commander. Try to take prisoners for interrogation. The audio pickups of Kearney's Warhawk relayed the explosive roar of missile fire and the rhythmic cough of autocannon, the dull crack of granite shards striking every nearby object, and the high-pitched twang of vibrating metal. She felt a brief flash of annoyance that Delavan didn't seem to be leaving any Comguards for anyone else, but reminded herself that there would surely be enough for all before the hunt was over. As Kearney's star rushed toward the battle, she listened to the thud of her mech's feet driving into the earth, the distinctive thunderclap of PPC bolts, and the high-pitched whine of lasers. The sounds whetted her appetite for combat. Suddenly, Kearney heard a strange wet gulping, as if a titan had taken a huge swallow from a giant bottle. What in the name of Kerensky's Orion had made that noise? Kearney barely had time to frame the question before her Nova arrived at the scene of the battle. The granite columns abruptly ended, and she entered a clear area half filled with mechs. Delavan's unit battled across the entire near side of the clearing, exchanging fire with the Comguards cowering behind the columns across from them. She saw no sign of Star Commander's dire wolf or of the twin executioners that stayed at his side. Strange. They must have retreated into the maze in order to encircle the Comstar force. Such a tactic didn't match Delavan's usual style, but Kearney could think of no other explanation for his absence. She drove her Warhawk forward, charging toward the half-hidden Comstar mechs. A voice shouted over her commline, startling her, "Star Captain, do not enter the center of this evil place!" But the unnamed mech warrior's warning reached her too late. With Kearney's next step, her mech's left foot plunged downward long after it should have met solid ground. As she pitched forward, she instinctively hit her eject button. Why she did so, she couldn't have said. No one achieved the rank of Star Captain by punching out every time a mech took a fall. Whatever the reason, though, that simple act saved her life. As her command couch burned its way upwards through the air, Kearney watched her Omnimech topple to the ground, the mud swallowing it up, with the same curious gulping sound that she'd heard earlier. Her star had followed hard upon her heels, and Kearney could only watch as mech warrior Jury's Hellbringer joined her own Warhawk in a premature burial. Jury, however, did not eject. Mech warrior Matthew immediately behind triggered his summoner's jump jets at the last possible second and soared over the hidden death trap. He landed on solid ground but held his heavy mech very still, clearly afraid to move even a step from his perch. Mech warriors Corey and Jarl managed to halt their mechs before reaching the sinkhole, though one of the elementals on Corey's Mad Dog lost grip and flew forward toward death. Both mech warriors edged their machines back cautiously. At that moment, the accursed Comguards opened fire. Kearney's seat came to a bone-wrenching halt atop a pillar of rock, giving her an excellent view of the fighting. She studied the sinkhole intently and noticed that the ground near the centre of the clearing was slightly smoother than the surrounding rock. As she watched, a lazy ripple spread across the smooth area and subsided. She thought of Delavan and Yuri buried alive, their lungs searing as their mech's heatsinks failed under the strain of the tremendous temperature surrounding them. She shuddered. Khan Zalman had been right. These Innisphere freebirths were animals. Situation: Devil's Bath, Tukayyid. The warriors of the 1st Viper Guards met the Green 6th Division near Devil's Bath in the shattered Comguards with the first salvo of fire from the assault mechs. Disappointed by the apparent ease of the victory, the cluster nevertheless pursued the fleeing Comstar mechs. As they careened down the granite-walled lanes of the Devil's Bath, the 1st Guard swiftly discovered that the retreat of the 6th Division had been anything but a retreat, but a ruse to draw them into a death trap. Cutting off supplies. Caravan carnage. The Comguard mechs struck without warning, lighting up the 2nd Fang scanners like the proverbial Terran Christmas tree as the unit escorted the clan's supply caravan through a deserted field. Later, they realised that the enemy must have crept up on them using the cover of ECM gear. At the time, the warriors of the 2nd Fang knew only that an army of white mechs had surrounded them from out of thin air. MechWarrior Byron watched as the Comguard's old-fashioned laser fire and AC shells drilled cockpits and leg joints, dropping clan mechs left and right. He knew that he couldn't shoot like that. Luckily, he didn't have to. Swinging his crosshairs to a target of Comstar Whitworth, he waited for his targeting computer to achieve lock. As the display turned red in confirmation, he played a stream of laser pulses back and forth across the enemy mech's knees. As the Whitworth toppled over backwards, Byron noted with pleasure the resemblance between the way it fell and the way his comrades had fallen. Situation: countryside near Viper Drop Zone, Tukayyid. With the Steel Viper's frontline troops safely bottled up in Devil's Bath, Presenter McGillivray ordered his elite 1st Division, known as the Strong Retaliation, to disrupt the clan's supply lines. The 2nd Fang, a provisional garrison cluster of freebirths and second-line mechs, served as the supply caravan's only guard, and so McGillivray expected to encounter little resistance. McGillivray had overlooked the capabilities of the Goshawk and the Viper. Though scorned by frontline clan warriors, these two battle mechs numbered among the deadliest war machines ever built. Equipped with pulse lasers and targeting computers of clan manufacture, the Goshawk and Viper make firing platforms of unparalleled accuracy, enabling even a green recruit to hit his target as well as any veteran mech warrior. Annihilation of the 6th. Fighting words. Presenter Bishor Yekel punched up his map of the Bath for the 15th time, illogically hoping that his unit's desperate straits had changed. They hadn't, of course. Omnimex piloted by furious Steel Vipers surrounded the remnants of the 6th Division, ready to close in for the kill. Considering the likely fate of the brave warriors of his command, Yekel still felt sick at heart. After the way he'd mocked the Vipers yesterday, he doubted that they would show much mercy toward the vanquished. He remembered reading somewhere in the endless pile of briefing papers that the clan's respected opponents who fought well against them. Surely the 6th had done that. Perhaps he could turn the brunt of the Viper's anger on himself and convince them to spare his beaten unit. Holding to that hope, he activated his comm. "Steel Vipers, I am Presenter Bishor Yekel. I admit to one and all that my challenge to you has proven empty. You have faced me on a battlefield of my choosing and defeated me. You have proven yourselves the superior warriors. I offer you the following bargain. I will surrender to you and accept whatever punishment my arrogance has earned me. In return, I ask that you allow the soldiers of my division to leave the field." The reply to his plea was a single word: neg. Shocked by the cold finality of the answer, Yekel demanded to know who had been addressing him. "I am Khan Natalie Breen. I have ordered the warriors of Alpha Galaxy to refuse all attempts at surrender. They will hunt down your division to the last mech, taking no bondsmen. Should any of your mech warriors escape from the Devil's Bath or from the world of Tukayyid, Clan Steel Viper will track them down and slay them." Why? He expected the Khan to say that his troops had earned death for backing his challenge, for hurling deadly insults at the clan lineage, or that his taunts and his failure had tainted the entire unit in the eyes of the Vipers. He didn't expect the answer he did hear. "Because you requested that we let them go." Situation: Devil's Bath, Tukayyid. With their supply lines severed and their mechs nearly out of ammunition, the Steel Vipers knew they had to reach the Devil's Bath and end the battle quickly, or they could never reach Kozitze Ranch Station. Khan Zalman had ordered Gamma Galaxy's only striker cluster, the 57th, to make an end run around the Comguards' 6th Division. The manoeuvre cut the 6th from the supporting troops of the 78th Division, but trapped the 57th between the two forces. In the resulting skirmish, the 57th took severe losses that it could no longer function as an operational fighting unit. The attack had served its purpose, however. While the 57th held off the mechs of the 78th Division, the assault omnimechs of Khan Breen's Alpha Galaxy surrounded the 6th. Taking furious revenge for Presenter Yekel's taunts against the clan, the Steel Vipers annihilated the doomed 6th down to the last, refusing all attempts by the Comguards to surrender. Halting the Vipers. Turning tail. Choking back the fury he felt, Star Colonel Bard Songus of Zeta Galaxy cleared his throat and thumbed on his comm line. "Attention, Zeta mech warriors. We have received orders to disengage and begin an orderly withdrawal back to the landing zone. Many of you may find these orders difficult to believe, given our current position. The Khans of our clan, however, personally issued the orders to retreat, and as loyal clansmen we will carry them out to the best of our ability. You have fought well, and should carry yourselves as true victors." Songus knew that he couldn't add the words forming in his mind, but if he did, he could kiss his military career goodbye. But suddenly, he didn't care. After all, it's not your failure forcing us to run away. Situation: Kozitze Valley, Tukayyid. By the time the Steel Vipers finally fought their way out of Devil's Bath, their frontline troops had used up almost all of their ammunition. Had the Khans allowed the fresh troops of Zeta Galaxy to lead the way in the continued assault, the Vipers might have taken Kozitze Ranch Station despite losses. Placing clan tradition above sound strategy, however, the Khans deployed the Freebirth pilots of Zeta Galaxy as guards for the clan forces' flanks, while awarding the frontline omnimechs of Gamma Galaxy the honour of serving as the vanguard. As Gamma Galaxy left the hated Badlands behind, the Comguards' 401st and 321st Divisions attacked them in the hills overlooking Kozitze. The Comguards breached the Viper lines in several places, forcing Khan Zalman to request aid from Zeta Galaxy in order to prevent his entire force from collapsing. It galled the Khan to watch the reserve troops succeed where his own warriors had failed, when the arrival of the 386th Division stalled Zeta Galaxy's offensive. Zalman convinced Senior Khan Breen then to order a general withdrawal back to the landing zone.